what makes you guys so much better than other title companies? Because we've done a lot of deals like all over the country now, and most title companies are pretty hard to work with. Like, we figured out that like you guys handle a lot of things like that we never even had to think about. That once we started doing nationwide stuff, we had to like do a lot of extra stuff that title didn't do, but that you guys do.
Working with GT and my team, we have the ability to just say, hey, get us the seller's contact information. We'll take it from there. Because you're out finding deals, we want to make it as easy as possible. So you can reach me on an evening to look up a property really fast, or on a weekend, just to make sure it's clear before you make that offer. Or, I always say, get it under contract, then tell me about it, because they're going to get 5 more calls by the time you get it under contract. So you better get it under contract.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? What's up, YouTube?
What's up, guys? It's good to be back.
Yeah, Christina, how you doing?
Good, great. Now that I made it here.
Yeah, you made it. Yeah, after we got our mics fixed up, and we're ready to roll. So YouTube, we call it Investor Thrive Nation. Investor Thrive Nation. The reason why we brought Christina on is she closes a lot of our deals here in Utah, and she's awesome. So we won
all of them for the last couple of years.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have. So we Invest Thrive Nation. A lot of you guys are new and you don't know what Escrow Officer is at your title. You don't know what that is. A lot of people don't know what title. What would you call it? Title agency. Title work
company.
is title companies. A lot of you don't know the importance of that. So that's why we brought on an expert, because every Wednesday we do expert interviews. So you're our expert today.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay, Corey, you want to kind of let people know what this channel is, or what Investor Thrive is?
Yeah, so we started it, to help new people learn how to wholesale, learn how to get into real estate, learn how to invest, all that good stuff. So that's why we bring on people to help them learn and help them start their business.
Yeah. So thanks again for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
And I've been here. We've been doing real estate for about 4 years, and I don't even know if I know a lot about title companies.
People don't.
I just give you the paperwork and say, hey, let's get it done.
Fix it.
Do your stuff, and that's
why it's important to have a good one, because most people don't know. So it helps if you have a really good one to.
That's right. And we are live, by the way. Investor Thrive Nation on Facebook. So if someone has a question, we'll see it and then we'll answer it, if they have a good question. So, but for now, we're just going to talk and see, we're just going to flow. So first question, for people that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm born and raised in Utah. So I know the industry really well in Utah. I started in real estate when I was 20. I seller financed my first purchase.
Really?
Yep. I worked for a mortgage company for 15 years. We were the first subprime lender in Utah, so we were used to 8% and 9% interest rates.
Wow.
And then I married a contractor, so we opened a construction company, built new homes.
Wow.
And then divorced and went into title. And the people that own my title company, they're both real estate attorneys. So as you know, either they are really hard to work with because they're really picky, or you're really happy you work with them because they're really picky.
Yeah.
And our attention to detail is a little bit more intense, but we also are able to get the transactions done faster because we know how to fix the problems.
Do they see you said there's 2 attorneys that own it, right? Do they see every deal that comes through? Do they have to work on those, or
no? If there's a problem, we have full access to them to make sure we're clearing title is what it's called. So if there's prior liens, notices of interest, divorce situation, Liz pendant, being sued, dead people, all kinds of stuff. We fix all of that. Solar panels, you guys are great with that one.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
We'll talk about that later today.
Yep.
Well, I want to talk about, you said you did your first deal when you were 20?
Yep.
And seller finance?
Yes.
Did you keep that? Did you move into that? Did you sell it?
I moved into it.
Wow.
I moved into it, held it a year, and then sold it. Yeah.
Were you trying to get a deal, or did it just come across?
I was trying to get no, it was actually a friend and his ex-wife wanted to sell it. And so I talked her into seller financing it for me with no money down.
Wow.
No money
No
down?
money down.
What a great deal.
In Orem, Utah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are more difficult to find now,
Yes.
I feel like.
Yeah. But if you ask, you never know. You always got to ask.
Gotta ask.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. I would like to. I'm sure you'd gobble up as many of those as you could right
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, no money down.
No money
There's
down.
no point in not taking it.
And their rates are usually around 4.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dang. Do you still have it?
No,
Oh, you said you had it for a year.
I had it for 1 year.
Do you wish you would have kept it, or
Oh, yeah. Hindsight, of
Yeah.
course.
what
Yep.
do you?
Probably
But, when you're
quadrupled in
20,
price
you have no idea.
since then.
Yeah, I did.
Dang. So thanks for giving us a little bit of information on
I had a question real quick.
an intro. Yeah.
What made you choose to go into title after having so much experience in other areas of real estate?
Going through divorce, I felt like title was a little bit more stable with your salary. We don't make
Yeah.
a lot in title, so I feel like
You said you don't make a lot in
We
title?
don't make as much as realtors or loan officers do,
Okay.
or contractors if they're builders.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it was a higher salary at the time, with the stress of going through divorce with 5 kids and dealing with all of that. I called the owners and said, "Hey, I'm looking at changing my job, and I'm thinking about coming back to you guys. Are you interested?" And they said, "Well, I'm going to Legoland. Well, I'm going to have a job by the time you get back, so let me know."
Wow.
And they hired me. So
You said to them, "I'm gonna have a job by the time you get back,
Yeah.
even though you're going to Legoland.
Yeah.
You want to hire me or not?"
Yeah. And they were
That's
like,
pretty
"Fine."
awesome.
I like
So
it.
they sent me an offer while they
That's
were
pretty
in
bad
Legoland.
right there. It's like, hey, if you don't,
Well, I
don't
really
ca-
wanted a job.
I don't care if you're in Legoland
Yeah.
on a roller coaster.
I'm like, I'm either going to go do mortgage because I was just doing construction at the time with my ex-husband.
Mhm.
I'll either go do mortgage again or be in
So
title.
you said you were doing mortgage. Did you know a lot about title, like because you were doing mortgage for so long? Or did you have to
I
learn a
thought
lot?
I did. I knew nothing about title. Just like we all think, oh yeah, I know what a realtor does. I know nothing. And the reason I didn't want to be a realtor is because they work their butts off nights and weekends, and I couldn't do that with little kids. And so
But you answer my text sometimes after
I
hours.
always answer.
I appreciate
But
that.
I don't
Does
have to
always
show
answer.
houses, and I don't deal with a lot of emotion with people buying homes.
Yeah.
They end up at my table unless I call them and tell them there's a lien from their ex, and then they're mad. So,
Oh man,
but yeah, I just
have you had people cry to you?
a lot.
A lot of
People cry, but a lot of them are good cries. Like
Okay.
their mom passed away and they found a new owner, and
Oh, really?
and if it's a wholesaler or flipper and they're sitting at the closing table with this seller, and they're always so sweet to the sellers. They're like, "Well, you can come in, look at it after it's remodeled, and bring your family through." And
They
so
love
I've
that.
always had a good turnout with that. The people I work with, I've been lucky. They've been pretty nice.
I have a question. Have you ever worked with a wholesaler that you feel is unethical or is not like someone you would want to work with again, that you just like refuse their business? You don't have to say names, but I'm just curious. Does that happen?
No. So I've had a really good opportunity to build my business and my team and be able to not work with people that I feel like might be making decisions that don't go with how we do business at GT. So yes,
That's good.
That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling to
Yeah, that's
not,
awesome.
choose who you want to work with.
It
I'm
is.
glad you
It's
want to work
really
with
nice.
us.
I am glad too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good introduction.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what else do we got on here, Corey? I can't read it.
So, I guess a big question, a lot of wholesale. Let's just start by kind of talking about what title is and why it's important, and like, because you can sell houses without title, right?
Yeah, you can always
Technically.
have someone deed a property to you and record it with the county recorder. No problem.
So tell everyone why title is important and what the benefits are.
So with title, you get an insurance policy, and you receive one as a buyer for a lender. If you're buying it, the lender benefits from that. But as a buyer, you receive one from the seller, and it's an insurance policy to protect you against any cloud in title. So if I miss something, or if there's any clerical errors, and most title insurance actually is called upon for clerical errors. Like, let's say if Joe Blow passed away and they transferred title. And I just had this happen on a property. So 2 people passed away, they transferred title, but they did it incorrectly. And because it didn't really pass title, because it was typed incorrectly, they have to file a claim on their title insurance and be able to get that taken care of. And it's just, it's really difficult to fix things later once you've already closed. So up front, we search the property and the people's names, bankruptcies, judgments, solar panels,
Nice.
prior owners, death in the family, super fun, probate. We handle all of that.
Wow.
And then you get that policy of insurance. And then if you do decide to sell it within 2 years, and you sell it and you close with us, we also offer a little bit of a break on your closing. So that helps too. But it just makes sure everything's done correctly. There's so many people out there that just want the deal done. And if you're patient, you can get it done correctly. But if you're not and you want to go to a title company or just do it yourself, I usually get a call trying to fix it later.
Really?
So.
Wow. So you're saying that there's a lot of clerical issues that
yeah.
happen, and
Yep.
if you try and do it yourself, you could possibly be buying a house that like you could have problems with in the future
With
if you try to
ownership.
resell it.
It shows that you don't own the home yet.
You've probably seen so many horror stories or bad things that have been done. You probably would never advise someone to close without a title company.
Yeah, at least call me to give a quick look or pay for
Quick
a
search.
title policy
Yeah.
for a search. If you're buying a property in a trust, people don't know you have to name a trustee. If you buy it in an LLC, you want to put what state that LLC is formed in. So if someone can't form an LLC in Nevada and say they own your home.
Wow.
There's a lot to watch out for, basically. There's a wholesaler that called me today, and he said, we're looking to go under contract, but this lady thinks her husband has something on title. Sure enough, he has a lis pendens, which makes it so she can't do anything on the property.
Really?
And
Is that like a notice of interest?
yeah, but worse, because it's an actual lawsuit that is filed on the property. And speaking of notice of interest, you're not, there's a law, a certain Utah law, I don't know the number, that if you file a notice of interest, you have to declare it with the owner, and the owner should really sign that notice of interest when you take your contract to them to sign. So
Can they sign the contract and that counts? Like
Well,
if it says like in your contract
if you
that you can
declare
file a
it,
notice of
typically
interest?
yes. But I would ask my attorneys on that. But
Yeah, it's probably-
we have both of them usually sign.
It's probably better to have them sign
It
the
is.
notice, but usually we file
But
the
you
notice
declare it.
because
They're
They're
obstinate.
trying to be
Yeah,
They're trying
back
to be
out of
sneaky.
it or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, we actually tell them about
or
that
bid
one.
up everybody. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, the one you got the money on.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
You
Or
told me about it
Did I tell you about that?
yesterday.
Or maybe you
think-
saw my post. Did you see the post? Or?
Oh,
See the
maybe
video?
that's what it was. That was it.
It was the video.
that
you
was
watched.
what I watched.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what happened on that one, which we're gonna make a YouTube video on it later, is, the guy died, right? And the lady who husband died, she said, "Hey, I'm trying to sell this. I'm trying to get it through probate." And it was a good deal, and she needed some
Great
money.
deal.
It was a great deal, and we needed.
Which makes sense because she scammed us. So
Yeah.
So she said she needed some money, and we just dealt with Abra, so we are just like, we can.
we're
this-
feeling confident
feeling
about giving out
confident.
money.
Yeah, and
That it
plus
would
we
work
sent
out.
it to title, and
Yeah.
we had done everything, and they were like, "Yeah, it sounds like her husband owns it." So we called her, and before giving her money, we said, "Let's talk to your attorney to make sure it's going through probate." So she gave us the number of her attorney, her friend. We later found
So
out.
she said what got my like suspicion raised is it was like a criminal defense attorney, and I was like, I doubt they do probate.
Which you found out after we sent her the money.
Yeah.
So anyway, we sent her $2,500, and then we find out, she stopped answering our calls, so we filed a notice of interest, and we found out that she doesn't have ownership. The house was in a trust like that. When her husband died, he gave it to his parents, so she didn't really have anything to do with it. So she had been scamming people, and because we had filed a notice in Vegas, when they sold it, they paid us off. So
Yeah, it's a cloud and title.
Yeah.
So that's smart.
And-
And
Got
another
lucky.
thing on that is we can look up probate cases. So you don't even have to speak to the attorney.
Really?
Yeah, you can see those.
In
They're
other states or
public-
just here in Utah?
Here in
Probably
Utah for us, but your title company there would have been able to look that up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think what
one
happened
thing
is
we've
she didn't
noticed-
start probate until after, and that's
Oh.
she
I
did.
don't think she started probate to this day.
Of
But
course,
the
she
parents
did.
probably did it if they left.
Apparently,
her in
like
the
her,
house.
I think the husband that died left the house to his siblings, and so they were the ones in charge of
I don't even think
it
it had
was
to
in
go through
trust.
probate, right? Because
It was
it's
in a trust.
If it's in a trust, you don't typically have to do probate unless the trust.
Right. I think that's what
There's
happened.
no trustee, right?
There's beneficiaries of the trust.
Yeah.
We're all new. This is all news.
Yeah.
So
We
we're
learned
like,
a lot though, and luckily we got our money back.
Yeah.
we made
It's a miracle, to
$2,000.
be honest.
Which on that deal, if we would have had it, we probably would have made like $150,000. It was a really
shoot.
good deal, but whatever,
Yeah.
it happens. That's crazy. So for new people, they should close at a title company just to basically cover their backs, right? To make sure
Yep.
they're not either buying a house that's going to have issues in the in the future or and stuff like that, right?
That's correct.
I got a question for you. So, what makes you guys so much better than other title companies? Because we've done a lot of deals like all over the country now, and most title companies are pretty hard to work with. Like, we figured out that like you guys handle a lot of things like that we never even had to think about. That once we started doing nationwide stuff, we had to like do a lot of extra stuff that title didn't do, but that you guys do. So what makes you guys like better than
Well, I feel like
the average title company?
working with GT and my team, we have the ability to just say, hey, get us the seller's contact information. We'll take it from there. Because you're out finding deals, we want to make it as easy as possible. So you can reach me on an evening to look up a property really fast or on a weekend, just to make sure it's clear before you make that offer. Or, I always say, get it under contract, then tell me about it, because they're going to get 5 more calls by the time you get it under contract. So you
have a
better
lot
get
of-
it under contract.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, even if you're
I've actually
unsure,
sent
get
you
it under
one or two
contract.
because I'm unsure if it's even worth messing with this person, right? Like
Yep, that too.
So.
So they might have bankruptcies and state tax liens or IRS or something. But we're able my bosses, the owners, were able to create a lot of forms that auto-populate that allow us to remove things a lot faster or get the payoffs we need. Or we've done so many, we know what to ask for or how to ask for it. You asked about the solar lien. Well, we approached it in a way that I felt like it was done, and so you just let people know it's done. We were told the other day on one of another flipper and wholesaler, he does both, that the reinstatement couldn't be done. So he was going to do seller financing, and the loan would stay in place, and he would catch up on their payments for him. And it was a $62,000 catch-up. Well, the attorney who's foreclosing Friday said last week, no, it's past the reinstatement period. So I asked my boss, what does that mean? And he said, well, you have so many days, 90 days, whatever, to reinstate it. And they've gone past that. And so my question is, well, sure, okay, the attorney wants to foreclose, but what about the mortgage company? And it was Carrington Mortgage, I think. And he said, well, yeah, if they'll give you a reinstatement amount, do it.
Yeah.
And they did.
And he
And
got it
we
reinstated.
recorded an hour ago and wired out and saved this transaction.
That's amazing.
And so it's just the ability to think creatively. When I was doing mortgages as a subprime lender, there was so much creativity when we're getting people loans. And so if you plan on holding it long term, I have the ability to talk to your mortgage loan officer who's going to do the long-term financing and know how to structure it before you close. There's just so many variables. I can't teach
Wow.
all of that.
So it sounds like the answer from what I just heard is you know how to be creative. And maybe
Yeah.
these other title companies see it just one way,
Yeah, like it's too hard or it can't be done. But I don't think anything can't be done.
knowledge and
There's always
experience
a way. Yeah, and there's always
give you
a
an upper
way.
hand.
How much have you seen wholesalers like us or people as they've gained more experience? Is there like a direct correlation you've seen to people doing more deals as they get more knowledge and they just get like I guess like you said, more creative. Like,
Yeah, there's always ways to work with the seller. You can either buy it, you can wholesale it, or you can list their house for them.
mm-hmm.
So if you have the opportunity to think like that and really look at the seller as someone you want to help instead of how am I going to make money, I think the wholesalers I deal with have a better turnout on how many properties they have than most of the people out there.
Yeah, because I think of when me and him first started, it was like blinders on. We were just like wholesaling, but now we have more knowledge, and I think we can be more creative, right? We can do more deals.
Yep.
And I'm assuming you see a lot of deals coming your way, so there's probably a lot of creative things happening. You know,
Yeah.
what you just said with this one guy, that kind of went a little over my head. You know, that you said that the attorney wanted to foreclose on it this Friday, but
Yep.
you were able to save it by reaching out to the mortgage company, right?
Yeah. So we went past their attorney and got a reinstatement amount. Instead of having to pay it off, we just reinstated the mortgage, and then they could do seller financing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when one person says no, there might be someone that says yes. And the mortgage company could have said no, deal with our attorneys, but they didn't. They just want their $62,000, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it helps the seller's credit.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. They got saved on that one. I'm sure they're so happy.
Yeah.
Wow. They're
Yeah.
probably
The guy's
crying.
really happy.
Yeah. All of
And he
them are
gets to
probably-
live there.
Yeah, and then you said a wholesaler flipper got that deal, right?
Yep.
So he's going to get it. He's happy,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. His team's happy.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Sweet deal.
Yeah.
that is a good deal. So, do you want to talk? I don't know what's on there, but do you want to talk about maybe the craziest experiences you had? Yeah, we'll talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
so many.
What's one that, or maybe one or two that stick out to you that's like maybe that makes it crazy for you? Maybe like that we wouldn't understand, like maybe the timeline or the situation. Like what are like maybe one or two of the craziest situations
Well,
you've had?
timeline, I had an order yesterday morning and closed it yesterday afternoon. So we're
Wow.
one of the few title companies that have searchers in my office. I can walk down the hall and say, please get me this search done.
Wow.
And they get it to me.
So someone brought you some and they closed the same day?
Yeah.
How was that done? Was that done with hard money or
Yes.
cash?
Hard money. Hard money.
Matt
Second
do it?
position. It wasn't Matt, but Matt would do same day too.
Wow.
For the right deal, right?
If you have everything to him in
What kind
one
of
day.
situation would require a same day close? What was that?
He just needed to pay his subs. That's what this one was.
So like subcontractors?
Subcontractors. Yeah.
So he needed to
So it was
sell
his second mortgage. So he had a first mortgage with another hard money lender, and then he did a second mortgage with this one, and we closed it and funded it.
So it was like a
and
refinance.
Gave him their money. It was.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I thought he had sold, like he had purchased someone else's home.
No.
And it was a day. Because that
No,
might
but
take
we can do that too.
Really?
If title's clear. So if title's not clear, then I call you and say, okay, so we can close, but
Title
all
clear
of these
meaning
things
no
are unclear.
mortgage,
Yeah.
no mortgage,
Well,
none of
or
that
a
stuff.
mortgage, we can have the seller hurry and get a payoff. Sometimes sellers get payoffs faster than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no liens or judgments, no
Corey,
bankruptcy.
we should start pitching that. I can close today.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you
see
can.
how that
As
that
long
works.
as title's clear. You don't have any liens, judgments, bankruptcies.
Yeah, you got to throw that in there,
Yeah.
right? As long as title's clear. That's
But
awesome.
you guys will give him $5,000 today.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
sign the notice of interest.
we-
We're
Trying
good.
to cut back on that.
yeah, we're trying to cut back on giving people money
Yeah.
before the close of the sale because it's always like it's a toss up. You feel like
Yeah,
even though it's
you
worked
never
out,
know.
it's worked out when we've done it.
Yeah.
I have
What's
some
another-
people. I don't know if you know Trevor. He has purchased people's belongings. Like he bought a motorcycle or he bought a guy's truck. He has bought all kinds of things to help him out, to get him out of the house and get the house sold. He becomes our best friend. I think that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that is pretty cool. We haven't bought people's stuff. We've sold their stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah. So we in the South Jordan house that we did.
Oh, yeah, right by my
yeah,
house.
Yeah, she left a bunch of stuff there. So we sold it. We made like $3,000 off of the stuff that she left.
That
Can
is
you imagine that?
Awesome.
She had like 3 sheds we sold for like $1,000, like a freezer, a
Washer,
vacuum,
dryer.
a blender. I sold a blender for $10 on
Holy
Facebook.
crap.
I was just putting stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So I just threw it all up there, made $3,000.
Give it a value. They'll buy it.
She could have sold it,
That
but
is
she just
awesome.
didn't want to.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
she probably was one of my craziest people
Oh,
closing.
Gosh.
I thought she was Like when she came in and signed
yeah.
the first time, she was just fine. Everything was fine. But I feel like a lack of understanding on her part when we tried to explain it, what was going on with her solar panels and her her deceased mother's bankruptcy.
Yeah.
She didn't want to listen anymore, and she really wanted the money. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was so
yeah.
desperate for money.
Yeah, so the negative text messages late at night and the emails and the demands and the threats and the haha, I came to Salt Lake but not to see you, to see another title
some
company. I was
crazy
like,
recorded
okay.
calls that we'll
You
have to
do?
send you.
Yeah, you'll
You're
have
like,
to put
thank you
those
for
up.
not seeing me.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is a good
like,
thing.
I just didn't respond. It's okay. My team was like, this is interesting.
The interesting thing is them texting you late at night, like you care. Or
Give
you-
me my $5,000. I said, you what?
Yes,
Call
right.
Corey, please.
Please call Corey. I'm busy.
Don't call me either. Call Sean.
Oh, Sean. I want to meet Sean.
Sean's great. He's good.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I guess it just depends on the crazy. We have to make sure that they're sober sometimes when they come in. I
Who was
don't
What,
worse?
you got a
Abra?
breathalyzer or what?
No, you can tell if they're understanding what you're talking about.
Who was worse, Abra or Robert?
Abra was hard.
Robert was pretty bad though.
Robert was scary. I was
Robert
like,
was demanding, but when I put my foot down, he was very respectful of that. Remember, I told you, I said,
Yeah.
if you continue to call like this,
That was awesome.
I can't take
sounds
your
like
call
you had
anymore.
to do a lot
I
of
have
that.
children.
Yeah,
but no, it's setting boundaries.
Do you set boundaries a lot
Yeah,
with sellers?
I do.
Because you're like, hey, look,
Yeah, I'm here to help you.
You can't talk to
I'll
me
give
like
you the
that.
money. But
yeah, Robert.
Yeah.
threatened to kill us.
The day he moved
Oh.
out, the day he moved out, because we let him do a post possession. The day he moved out, I went there to change the locks, and I had Tyler with me, one of our employees at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, dude, watch my back. And because I was afraid that I was going to get shot or something, because he had a gun inside the house. He told us about his guns, cameras.
wow.
And Tyler was like, it was like one of his first days.
What am
and
I
he's
going
like,
to
"What am I
do?
We
Why am I working with
He's
you?
like, I'm staying in the car.
We later found out, I think the house, we didn't know, but
Yeah.
at the time, but it was like had meth, obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
And I think there's a scale like below 1 on the reader is like, okay, it was in the house. Above 1 is like a 3 is like bad. His might have been like a 15 or something crazy. Like he was like
So you
making
had
it
to-
and soaking the walls with whatever he was. Anyway,
So when you call
crazy.
meth mob.
Yeah. Crazy
That's
stuff.
crazy.
So you do have sellers that reach out to you and are like demand the money, like it's almost like your fault. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
you're
yeah.
holding my money. It's like, look, this has nothing to do with
Then
me.
I have
I'm
to
just.
read the contract again. And
Yeah.
Yeah. We try and make sure they understand it.
You ever get nervous though? Like, hey, this person might, show up to the office and start getting crazy, or do you
No,
not?
Anne's awesome. She'll kill him. Our front desk lady.
Really?
She'll get him. She's
got a
good.
gun
She's
under
good
the
at
desk.
blocking. No, I don't know. She's pretty mean though.
She's
can
got
be.
one of those
She's really
buttons.
nice now, but she can be mean.
She's got one of those buttons at the bank.
Yeah, the emergency lock
the
button.
emergency-
All the gates go up,
Yep.
so they can't get to me. No. I just don't go to their houses for closings for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send a notary or something. We had a guy that went and our Lehigh office,
Mm-hmm.
because we have a lot of offices now, one in every county,
Wow.
pretty much. But our Lehigh office did a closing for me, and the gentleman seller was mad at the real estate agent and told her, "Don't come. I don't want you there. You're uninvited." Plus a bunch of other really bad things.
Uninvited. Mm.
Yeah. And then they did the closing, and he stood up at the end when he found out he was finished, and he said, "I hope you all get what's coming to you. You screwed me over." And he asked me to reduce my fees, and my closing fee was low, and we gave him a reissue rate on, and I said, I can't. I don't have any junk fees. I don't have doc prep or anything. And he's like, okay. And then he gets to closing and threw that fit with another escrow officer and left his wife at the table. And so the escrow officer was like, well, do you want me to walk you out? And they both kind of laughed and
Yeah.
walked out together.
You know what's interesting about sellers like that? We haven't had a lot of situations like this, but we had one closing where the seller was upset. She was like, I shouldn't have sold it to you at that low of a price, because they perceived the value to be more at the end. And now like that house is being not the flipper that flipped it is having a hard time selling it. So,
Oh, yeah.
which sucks. Like, I feel terrible. But the seller is like, oh, I got taken advantage of. It's like, not really. You got a great deal.
Not for the work coming
Yeah,
into it.
Exactly. So it's all
Yeah,
perspective,
she got lucky,
right?
to be
It
honest.
You got very lucky, and it's
Yeah.
kind of sad that a lot of people, they think their homes are worth more, and they feel like taken advantage of. When in all reality, like sometimes they're getting great deals. Sometimes, obviously, they know, and we disclose to people like, hey, you could probably get a way better deal if you go on MLS with this, and we can list it with you. But half the time, like, I want the convenience and the speed. That's
They just
what
wanna
we're
be done.
Yeah, we want to be done. So that's what we serve. Just like Abra's situation, she could have put that on the MLS,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she wanted the money now, right? So
Yep.
She did get lucky though that we bought it thinking we had to pay off a lien.
Oh, yeah.
Like most,
And if she
obviously,
would have
most
waited,
people
she would
wouldn't.
have realized that. Like, you guys were willing to wait even.
oh yeah.
And it would have made her more money, but she said no. Just
We were willing
close
to
it.
wait, and then
You
she was
were
like-
willing to wait.
And then after we paid her, I think I talked to her once because I was asking for some more information. She's like, "You made me sign." I'm like, "No, we didn't. You wanted to sign." So
How would we make her sign? We never even met her in person.
Yeah. She actually demanded to sign when she was in town before we were even ready to close.
I know it's amazing.
Because
It's
then she had to sign again, right?
Yeah, just the settlement statement.
And it's great with working with sellers because we have recordings, right? We record most of our conversations.
Smart.
So when they make accusations like that, it's like, what are you talking about? This is definitely not how this conversation went. So
Right.
I'm sure you see that
How
all the
people
time.
think, yeah.
You probably see people.
Perception is the worst.
Oh man,
Yeah.
good times.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
So you do, especially like your whole office does lots of deals with investors and wholesalers.
Mm-hmm.
What do like the best wholesalers do from like your perspective that maybe other wholesalers don't do? The ones who do the most deals.
They send an email just saying, "Hey, how does this look?" as they're sitting there with their client or ahead of making the offer.
Okay.
Email
they
to
kinda
you?
Verify.
Uh-huh. Yeah, just to check who's on title and who can sign the purchase contract. I like that. It makes their life easier too. And then when they do send the order over, they send contact information for everyone, and then I can just get going and start calling. Yeah, that's
So like
nice.
before they go to the appointment, they check like, hey, who's on title?
Mm-hmm.
Can this person even sign?
Yeah.
Can they not find that out by just looking on like PropStream
Well,
or?
tax records aren't always correct, and they may be deceased, and there might be things, affidavits or something that didn't record correctly. So I can look at all of that. I can look at all the stuff that didn't record correctly even. So, yeah.
So to add on to that question that Corey asked, what traits do you see in wholesalers or flippers that you're like, oh, this is something I see like over and over again in successful real estate investors? Like, is it that they're outgoing, that they're hard work? Like, I'm just curious, what do you see, if anything?
I think that they're outgoing and they're genuine. They're not just trying to get the deal. It's almost like they care. They genuinely care. It is a business to them, absolutely, and they're very clear about that. And when they go over their contracts, they have them initial all the little pages that say you can sell it on your own. You can, do all that. But I just feel like they take the time to spend with the people. It's not just get in, get the signature, get out, and never talk to them again. It's constant communication. Hey, do you need boxes? Do you want us to put a dumpster in your driveway? Which is good for you guys because they're throwing stuff out.
Not if I'm trying to sell it though.
Yeah. At the closing table, I'll make sure they know that when they move out, they call me and the wholesaler, and then we both confer and make sure they get their money. Just communication. I think that's the biggest thing. And they are outgoing.
So so the list is that you've seen through your experience. How long have you been doing title again?
12 years.
So 12 years, you've seen the most successful real estate investors, whether it's flippers, wholesalers, communication, outgoing, and they care. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I'd say we have those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You haven't had any sellers mad, just Abra.
No,
Abra.
and I think she would have been
She would
upset
have
with
been
anyone.
fine if we would have just
Well, I think anyone would.
given her money.
Yeah, I think anyone would have. She would have found blame. I think there's victims in society, right? And I think she's just a victim.
And we helped her out of town. We gave her money up front.
Every week you gave her
Most
money.
people wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a big risk.
Yeah,
You
some
guys gave her-
people just always want someone to blame, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is
that happens.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think that was the situation.
Yeah.
What else? I was going to ask you. So those are the traits that you see in wholesalers. How much longer do you think you'll be doing? Do you think you want to do title work forever, or like
Yeah.
do you see like an end in mind? Like
Well, I'll retire from title at some point
Mm-hmm.
probably, but my team, I think, will be able to take over and handle a lot of it without me even there. But I still see everything that comes in, everything that goes across, and I still jump in and talk to people about options and what's going on, and I see every title report and sign off. And so, yeah, I'll retire at some point. I'm not going to.
But you
ever
love it,
be-
it seems
I
like.
do. I just love teaching everybody all of this stuff.
That's awesome.
And having people come in and looking at it. I closed a transaction yesterday of a guy who's buying a builder house, and he can't sell it for 1 year because there's a builder here that doesn't allow that. And there's just ways to structure it that you put it in a trust when you purchase it right off the bat. And we have people that we work with that will set up your trust for you and hold things long term, or set up an LLC, or explain how you don't lose your pants if you have renters. I just like all of that knowledge and information. I like to network and make it available for everyone.
I wonder how many more deals we would do if we knew all that stuff. I'm sure it helps a ton.
I don't know. I think it would help, but it might also just weigh you down, because if you're really just focusing on helping the people out and getting them to a new place. Didn't you find someone an apartment once or something? So one of my wholesalers found someone somewhere to live.
It was a house.
Barbara.
It was a lady. Yeah, it was Barbara.
Price, Utah.
Yes.
Hope she's doing
It
good down
was
there.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, we found her a new
So
place.
just that stuff.
That
I
was
feel
not going
like,
to happen without getting her a place.
Yeah.
That was, she
If
was
you
not
have to
gonna-
do all of my stuff on top of that, I don't know if that would be as effective. I do have a wholesaler, though, that he has a team that is putting together the paperwork that I really appreciate the help with, but I still have to double check it and make sure it
So
works.
you can help people set up an LLC to purchase.
I have someone that can help them. I don't do it for them, but it's a way. Yeah, it's definitely a way to do it. And then if you want to hold
One of the
long
strategies like we've heard about is like buying a property, signing a contract in the LLC, and then instead of assigning the contract, you sell the LLC to the buyer.
Right. So if it's a single member LLC and you're assigning the contract, the hard part about that is you're the one signing the contract, not the end buyer who's ending up buying your LLC. So you still have to close on it. Otherwise, you have to disclose to the seller that there is a new member of your LLC and they have to sign the contract also. Like there's so many things about that. I would have to sit down and
I think the
really
reason
dig into
why
that. I'm
people
not
are doing
an attorney.
that. Yeah, I think the reason why Corey brought that up is the assignment is under attack in some states. So there's people are trying to figure out different
Well, in
ways.
Utah it is.
Yeah, in Utah.
Well, it's hard. You can't assign the state rep C without the seller signing it, right?
No, that's not true. You can assign it because it's just a contract you're assigning, not the home. The Department of Real Estate, they've been fighting and going against realtors and fining them and things for certain things for that reason. But that's an entirely different conversation. People like Matt Atkinson and Jeff Braylio have been, fighting against that, trying to make it so that everything is up to par and helping them realize that assigning a contract isn't taking advantage of a seller. So
Interesting.
There's a bunch.
So you
of
can
things
assign
going
the
on.
state rep C, because I thought there was a specific paragraph in the state rep C that says no assignment.
Well, it says you can put in an addendum that you're going to find. You may find an end buyer, or you may assign the contract to someone else. There's all kinds of addendums out there that people have written with attorneys' help that allows you to assign the contract.
And that allows you to assign it without the seller signing off on it.
Because you put it in the contract. But the minute you assign that contract, that new person has to sign the contracts from there on out. So to get a lower
like sign closing
price
docs.
and all the closing docs, yeah.
Do they see Does the seller see the?
Wholesale amount.
Yeah.
Utah's a privacy state. You only see your own.
Yeah, that's sweet.
I have a question for you.
Realtors see both sides.
Utah's a non-disclosure state. Would you ever see it changing? Like it being...
No.
No?
I don't see anything in the works that would say that it will be changing anytime soon. That's why Zillow doesn't work here.
Yeah, it doesn't, and
Yeah.
it's hard to. And others. I think there's 8 non-disclosure states. So when we get deals there, it's hard to use like comp properties.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was just wondering. I don't any reason why they're non-disclosure versus there's 8 states. So why are the rest not non-disclosure? Do you know?
I don't know the reason. I haven't
Okay.
researched that. But if you have your real estate license, you can see all of the sales and concessions and everything. So you are able to dig into that. And I'll introduce you to some agents tonight at the meeting.
Sloria.
Sloria.
Do you put that on, by the way? Or?
I'm on the board. Dakota Worrell is the outgoing president, and I think Matt Strong is running for president. And then
So why are you a part of that? Because you like education, or
that's
what's
what
the
started
point?
all of this, is connecting with everybody at Sloria has built my business 100%.
Wow.
Some of the top flippers and wholesalers that I deal with have grown from that meeting.
Really?
Yeah, so I really feel like it is a huge benefit from what even you guys offer too, to
Yeah.
meet your clients and your students and
Interesting.
teach them and put them in contact with, contractors and all the hard money people that come there.
Sloria.
Title me.
Is Sloria the same thing that they do at Club 90?
No.
What is
What's
that?
Club 90?
That's-
I don't know.
That's like Jeff Brick.
That's a wholesale meetup.
Yeah. But
Oh, that's a wholesale meetup.
That's
It's
not
different. So
Sloria?
Salt Lake Real Estate Investors Association is what Sloria is. It's been going on, I believe, the
that's
longest.
why I didn't like go, because I used to go to the Club 90 ones,
Yeah.
and it was like kind of smelled like cigarette smoke, and it was kind of weird. And I'm like,
That is
this
weird.
is kind of weird.
There's
Yeah.
there's
Right
a
next
couple.
to the
There's like
fish
Utah
market.
RIA, UV RIA. There's one up north that I'll be going to now, first Tuesday of every month in Ogden.
So it's a great networking tool
It
for your
is.
business.
Yeah,
too.
to learn. Yeah, for your business to learn, to meet other people. I mean, what if you found a deal and you didn't know what to do with it? Well, there's people there that can tell you what to
I'll
do.
gobble that thing up if you don't know
Yeah.
what to do with it.
Or just, I'll be partner with you, or I'll do the hard money loan, or here are the contractors you need. There's just so many different things. And there's people there that bring transactions.
I kind of get intimidated, to be honest, when I go to
You
those, because
shouldn't.
I'm like, I might not be a big shot.
You don't.
I'm not a big shot,
You're
but
not
they-
supposed to be a big shot.
I want to be a big
The
shot.
purpose is to bring in all these new people too, and just rub shoulders with them and get to know them and talk to them.
Not
Introduce
like you and
yourself
Matt
to
on the
3 new
board.
people. I'm not a big
You're
shot.
on the board.
I know.
You are a
There's
big
a lot
shot,
of
though.
people on the board, but
What do you got to do to be on the board?
volunteer? You can be on the board.
I could be on the
Yeah.
board? No way.
Absolutely, we need board people.
They would let me on the
We
board?
need board people.
Get on the board.
We have 2 lunches a
students.
month, and we.
How do you
need
get on the board?
people.
You gotta.
Just tell us you want to be on the board,
That's
and then we
it.
can
I thought
talk
you had-
about it at the meeting and bring you in.
What do you do once you're on the board?
What your job title is. So
What jobs are there?
there's some.
I'd be the
there's
refreshment guy.
Sponsor. You can do the food. I'm
I'd be
sure
the
Manny
board-
would like that. He brings all the food right now for the meeting.
The board refreshment guy.
Yeah. There's IT. You can be the IT guy. Your guy could do it even. There's sponsorship. You can help with that.
Wow.
There's continuing education.
I could really crush it on the board doing
There's-
something.
I think you could.
Yeah.
You could help with sign in. Amber does sign in. You
I
can
could-
help with sign in.
Be the guy with the pad.
Yeah, there's 2 computers. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
sign up new people.
I'd
You
be-
can call them
I
after.
would sign them
send
up, and I'd put them
packets.
also into my own little my own CRM.
Yeah,
I could
that's fine.
hit 'em. Oh, I'm sure you even get the role, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Or
So
why haven't we been going to these slurrias more
told
often?
you, so worth it.
So
I don't know.
And there's 3
for Investor
or
Thrive
4.
Nation tuning in, and anyone on here live,
Come to Sloria.
go to the RIA
Yes,
meetings wherever you're at. It sounds like great networking events.
Yeah.
And don't be intimidated. I've been at this for like 4 years, and I'm like, I don't know, man. They might think I'm not that that big of a
How many
big
people
shot.
usually go?
About 80.
It's a lot.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot. That is a lot.
About 80 people. 60 to 80 is what the average has been lately. And it's
And
just right
probably
here.
It's probably a
at
broad
the
range of
Miller building.
experience.
It
and
is.
And you said
It's
there's food
brand
tonight?
New. There's food
What do we got?
tonight.
What do we got over
Costa
there?
Vida, I think. I'm pretty
Nate'll
sure.
be there.
It's Costa Vida.
I told my wife, I told her, hey, come on. And she's not sure, but
Yeah.
now with Costa Vida,
She'll be
Then
there.
I get
she'll
to meet
actually
your
probably
wife.
just want me to bring her a plate.
That's okay.
So there's no
Got to
to-go
get there
plate test
early
for Rhea.
if you want dinner. Because we only
I'll be
buy
there.
for 60 to 80, and if it's gone,
Really?
it's gone.
I'm intrigued by being on this board.
You should be on the board.
That would be
You
fun
should get on the board.
because, I'm growing this network,
Mm-hmm.
right? And also we wholesale, we fix and flip nationwide. I think I could provide value somehow.
Yeah, we'd love that.
All right, cool.
Cool.
That would be fun. Yeah, so guys, go to RIA meetings. I have not been going to those. So.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
Besides RIA meetings, is there any parting advice for wholesalers and investors that you have?
Just give me a call. I mean, I'll take.
We can put your
an
contact info
hour.
here
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'll give you time to just sit down and learn start to finish, or answer any questions, what you're scared about, put you in the right direction with people. Call me.
Christina has been very, very helpful to us over the last 3 years of our
Cool.
wholesaling journey. So
You've helped us out a ton.
she will help, and she will respond to if you text her or call her.
Even if they're out of state, can they hit you up?
Yeah, they can call. I mean, I could probably put them in contact with different underwriters in
You
their
ready to get
state,
flooded by the 4
but-
people that are on here? I don't know
right?
you're ready for that.
I know. I'll take it. Those 4 people might turn into amazing clients. You
Hey,
never know.
now it's 2. I think that 2 of them got
Shit,
shy.
They got bored.
They
Now
got-
you're gonna say their name, and then they logged
They
off.
got shy.
See it-
They're
they'll-
like,
they'll see it on YouTube.
Yeah.
More people see it.
I have like one last question. I can't remember what it is. It's about wholesaling and oh no, this is it. You've been in real estate since you're 20. Have you? How many? If you don't mind us asking, how many properties do you have? Like, have you been trying to like accumulate properties as you've gone, or has that not been a big?
Well, when I was in construction,
Mm-hmm.
we had a bunch, and then divorce and stuff kicked in. So right now I have 2 properties, one of them including the one I live in,
Mhm.
and then I'm building some Airbnb properties in Hurricane right now with my ex-husband.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
trust him to build, just can't be married to him.
Wow.
So that'll
sure
be
he's a
big.
good builder.
Yeah, and then I've got one more property that I'm making into a rental.
Wow.
So
Because the reason I ask you that is as we do these interviews with experts, I feel like as people are in the real estate industry, they just happen to get properties, right?
Yeah,
Like as they're
that's true. I also don't want to compete with you, so I'm not going to go out and try and do my own flip or try and wholesale a deal or.
Stick to your niche.
Yeah, I just and give or gain. If I give to you, I'm gonna gain just as much as me giving. So
And
I
that's why you're
really
in the RIA
believe in
board.
that. Yeah, that's
love
why
it.
I'm on the RIA board.
I like it. You're giving back.
Yep.
And as you give back, you get. Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else you want to say before we shut
No,
this down?
just
Christina?
thank you. This
Yeah.
was
Thank
great.
you for coming. We
Not so
appreciate it.
scary.
It's not scary because I think we're
Just in
easy to
this
talk
small
to.
room.
Yeah, you have good questions too.
I think we're easy to talk to, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, hey, Investor Tribe Nation, if you've tuned in the whole time, if you're live here, we got 2 people. Okay, I
2.
called them
Thanks
out.
for
now one.
hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah,
And
one.
nope. Yeah,
One.
one. They always
Darn
they
it.
always leave when I shout them out. They
goodbye.
get a little nervous. But no, it was a good time. Investor Thrive, thanks for tuning in. And we had an expert on the channel. We're going to leave her, I guess, her contact info
Yeah.
in the description so you can reach out to her. And we'll see you next week.
Yep.
See you
Later.
guys.
See ya.